Welcome to Why They Play the Game, a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I'm just one of your co-hosts, Michael Eric Owens.
And I'm Ken Hayes.
Welcome to the show, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. What about yourself, Mike?
Man, I'm hanging in there, brother. Listen, folks, go ahead and hit that like, that subscribe button for us and that notification so that we can definitely get your feedback as well as communicate with you. So, folks, here we go.
Remembering Junior Bridgeman tonight, tributes still pouring in a day after the Milwaukee Bucks star died. He was 71 years old. Beyond his accolades, friends say his legacy will be his golden heart and a very generous spirit. Fox 6's Bria Jones, live from the Hone Bridge tonight. Why the Hone? Well, if you look behind Bria, you'll see it's all lit up in Bucks green. Bria?
That's right, Ted. Tonight, the Hone Bridge is lit up in green for everyone to see. Just take a look behind me. This is a tribute honoring Junior Bridgeman, a man known for going beyond the game. From basketball star to billionaire businessman, Junior Bridgeman shined on and off the court.
He was special. He was God's man.
Bridgeman died Tuesday at the age of 71 after suffering a medical emergency. Bucks legend John McLaughlin remembering his former teammate.
I almost called him last week about something and did not. Now, I certainly wish I had.
Their friendship forming when Bridgeman joined the team in 1975. After retirement, Bridgeman moved into the food industry, becoming the owner of Bridgeman Foods, which once operated more than 450 Wendy's and Chili's restaurants. Just last year, he became a minority owner of the Bucks.
I knew that he would go out in the world and be successful. Did I know that he would be one of the richest men in the athletes in the world after their playing days? I didn't know that.
More than anything, McLaughlin says Bridgeman gave back, including to his charity, the Midwest Athletes Against Childhood Cancer.
He helped many charities. He was speaking at a charity event when he had a heart attack in Louisville.
He wasn't out for glamour or for glory. He was out for good.
Victor Gray is Bridgeman's Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated brother. The two joined Milwaukee's Delta Chi Lambda chapter in the 70s. What kind of brother was he to you?
First and most of all, he was a regular guy.
A giant, he says, became Milwaukee's gem.
He was like a diamond in our own backyard.
McLaughlin and Gray both say that Bridgeman's passing is unexpected. They are asking for prayers for his wife and children. Now reporting live in Milwaukee, Bria Jones, Fox 6 News.
Bria, thank you.
So, Ken,
That's a lot to take in, Mike. A lot to take in.
The loss of Junior Bridgeman. What are your thoughts?
Man, Junior, oh, Mike, just to unpack some of it, back in, I think it was 75, he was drafted by the Lakers, matter of fact. And then, in June, we heard about this monster trade, in Milwaukee. We had Kareem. It was like, Kareem getting traded? For who?
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that it was Junior, Brian Winters, a couple of, other players. And, we're like, man, we losing Kareem. We going downhill,
Yeah.
So, matter of fact, when Junior came that year, I think he averaged about 8 points a game. But you could see that a guy that came from Louisville, went to the Final Four, that you could see his potential as far as, his skills, Mike. And now I compare him. I'm going to compare him to a guy that played for the Bucks also, and to today's player. I think Junior kind of remind me of a more athletic Bobby Dandridge. And then now I think and work with me when I say this, is that Shea kind of has the same qualities as a Junior Bridgeman. Bridgeman was a kind of methodical player, took his time. He could beat you off the dribble, could shoot the jumper, come off that screen and hit them jumpers, and could play defense.
Yeah, he was, he had that lanky body.
Right,
too.
Exactly. He was long.
Yeah, so, he was long.
And then I think Bridgeman, man, just a solid dude as far as Milwaukee was concerned. You heard that John, he would, do speaking engagements, donate money to the MAC Fund. Um, but as far as basketball was concerned, Mike, I mean, he just grew and grew. And back in that day, they didn't have the 6-man award. Junior
Exactly.
he probably would have won that probably 3 or 4 times.
When he came off the bench, it was time to get busy.
Exactly. And the thing about it is that I saw a clip from Marcus Johnson. He said Junior was the ultimate competitor. That you couldn't let up on him, or he just just take it away from you. And it was just kind of a statement that he made. As far as on the court, his presence, man, and Marcus said he made other players better. By challenging them, by working with them, and just helping them get to the right spot. So,
well, and I think, Ken, I agree with everything you said, man. Junior Bridgeman was a cat that came along when basketball was the fundamentals and the team ball was it. So he had a teammate mentality, and like you say, Ken, Junior Bridgeman was a force to be dealt with on the court, right? He could have started, man, with the Bucks. He could have started for any franchise. Right. I mean, but when you got a guy like that coming off your bench, boosting your team, not just in leadership but in play, and I think you mentioned something about how he was dedicated and focused, and how this guy, the after act of basketball, I think that talks to his game. It talks to his dedication, it talks to his commitment, his goal setting, his belief in himself, that he was greater than simply just a basketball player, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, how many guys do we see? And we're going to get into this, Ken, and you're going to break down some numbers for us. But how many guys do we see in professional sports go broke?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ken, we talking about guys that are getting massive contracts.
Exactly.
And what did Junior make?
I think, Mike, they say Junior made $3 million his entire career playing basketball.
Dude.
$3 million.
And what did he become?
A billionaire.
Okay. Can't talk a little bit about just his, his post career, man. And he didn't really lead. I mean, he was a mentor to a lot of players, but he went on to be one of the largest. Well, okay, let me just say this. I think there's only 3 basketball players that have ever become billionaires. That's Mike, that's LeBron,
and
Magic. And he's on that list. So there's 4 of them.
So,
okay,
Mike, I think they said that Junior made, let's put it in perspective, per season he made like $350,000, and he played, let's just say 10, I think 9-10 seasons, maybe. I could be wrong about that, but $350,000 a season, man. Shoot, the folks that's on the bench in street clothes making. They making $3 million a year. So man, but I'll say this, Mike. The other thing is that when in the off season, Junior was working at Wendy's trying to learn the business. So trying to develop that, let's just say, that skill set, knowing the business. So I mean, he owned over 100 Wendy's. And a lot in the Milwaukee area. And I saw an interview or heard an interview that he was doing. He said, when he took over these stores, they were making in a year about $200K. After some years of putting in the work, when he sold them, they were making like $2.5 million.
Wow.
Exactly. And one thing he said, we had employees, that we had to show that we cared about them. He said
Mm.
some employees would, for whatever, could be parking issues or tickets, they would, they would be taken to jail. Junior said, yeah, we had to go downtown and bail them out so they could work, and pay, pay their tickets off and stuff like that, And the thing about it, he said that when we did that, it showed these employees that we cared about them. We wanted them, to have an opportunity to move up if it's, assistant manager to manager to, regional manager, things like that. He said, but we had to put the work in. And then he said, I don't think if we wouldn't have did that I would have been that successful. And I heard, go ahead.
No, I was going to say what you describe is the now forbidden word in leadership.
Right.
Okay, great leadership, man. But go ahead, Ken.
And the thing about it, Mike, is that he said that his employees were loyal. It may be times where, let's just say overtime or another day they had to work, they would come in if they were asked. No qualms, no nothing. They, they saw what they were trying to do, and they supported that. And I heard Charles Barkley say one time. He said, when him and Junior would talk, he said, Chuck, you got to get into this business. He said, you only gonna play for so long. And Chuck and Charles was like, yeah, I do. And he said that he had to thank Junior for, giving him that advice. I don't want to forget this thought, and it just came to me, is that Junior was just open to giving anybody and everybody this advice as far as business and things like that.
And Ken, you bring up a very good point here. Let's just labor here just for a second. How many folks get successful, and what they doing? They blocking you. Let's be honest, man. It's the crabs in the barrel, right? But you are so correct. This dude was willing to mentor, give advice to anyone that stepped in his path, man. And that is rare because people, man, listen, man, they want to be rich and they want you just to worship them and they want to give out their little duckies. When I hear people say, man, he gave away turkeys to the community, or he gave out food, I'm like, why don't you do something that folks next year don't have to come? They can go buy their own food. Okay, well, you're giving out stuff and it's a food desert. Well, why don't you create a grocery store, community grocery store? If you got the money, but see, it is the fact that I want to do this annually. I want my name in lights. No, Junior was about changing your life, man.
Yeah,
about giving you advice and leading you in a way that you change your life so that you could go duplicate that with others, man. So Ken, I just wanted to just for a minute pause there, man, because we got cats right now that could be doing what Junior doing.
Oh yeah, definitely, Mike.
They ain't doing it.
And Mike, the thing about it is that, and I've worked in this area also. Junior owned a Coca-Cola bottler and distributor. Mike, if these ballers are doing what you're supposed to do, they're making a lot of money. Let me tell you. And to think about it, and you can't get into that business without some, let's just say, past experience of success. So, it's few people who are in that business, and it's rare to get in it. So, for him to do something like that. But the other thing that I saw, or what happened, is that Ebony and Jet, they were in bankruptcy for a while, and Junior stepped right in and bought it, and got things back on par, and now they're digitally. It's not a say a paper magazine anymore. It's it's just a digitalized magazine now. So man, it's just that Junior took, I'm gonna call it, a small amount of his, let's just say, salary, over years, and just invested. And kept working, and became a billionaire, Mike.
Man, it's life after basketball, and to me, we hear these stories about these players, who knows Junior Bridgeman? Unless you're in the Kentucky or the Wisconsin orbit, right? Who really knows Junior Bridgeman? Well, let me just say this: he might not be as well known as a lot of these black billionaires, but see, the more you know of a person, sometimes Ken, the less they do. It is the ones that are working in the shadows, man. It's the ones that are doing things every single day to impact young people's lives, impact young players. Man, you saw Junior all over the place, man, talking to people, giving lectures, man, trying to work with business people throughout the United States. This was a dude that his life, man, his legacy, yes, great basketball player.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Greater person. This is when we really can say this about this dude, right? Like some people, yeah, well, he was a great, but he was a greater, no, you can, because his legacy, like Franklin Douglas said, when they asked Douglas about his legacy, Douglas said, don't talk to me. He said, talk to those I labored with. And so we are the witnesses of this man's legacy, man, and it is worthy, man. And you know what, Ken, I think about the Bucks had some great players, man, throughout franchise history, man. I heard Moncrief talking about him, and as you said, you know how we feel about Marcus. Marcus talking about him, man. And all these Charles and all these other people that Shaq was sharing, his and Shaq is almost like Junior Bridgeman 2.0, to be honest with you. Like if JB wanted to get out there and get in front of the camera, but as far as businesses and working with businesses, and I don't know how much mentoring he does, but clearly you can see the impact from JB's on his life.
Let me say this, Mike, is that, for me, I like to, let's just say, invest in companies or security. That's boring. Junior was a boring billionaire.
Yeah.
No fanfare, nothing like that. He just did what he did and did it the best way that he could. Got other people involved. And then the thing about it, you mentioned Shaq. Shaq said that, his quote was that his business acumen came from Junior Bridgeman.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Yeah, man. So Ken, what, it's sad he was just 71,
right.
Condolences to his family, man.
Exactly.
And, what do you say, man? What is his legacy in
my opinion?
In your mind, yes.
In my opinion, Mike, Junior was I'm gonna call him an all-star on and off the court, Mike. And the thing about it is that he opened himself up for others. And the thing about it, a lot of people just don't do that.
The majority.
Right. And the thing that you have to remember is that, and I'll say in today's environment, we have, a lot of athletes, stars, whatever you want to call them, Mike. It's about me. And that wasn't Junior. And
exactly.
On the basketball side of it, Mike, probably one of the best six men's, I'm gonna say, out there. Came off the bench, and did work and played defense. Let's be real about it,
Yeah.
So, I mean, great loss. Like you said, my condolences to his family, friends, you saw where, even on locally, I mean, people were just devastated.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and it's a shame because he just bought that 10% ownership into the Bucks, man. And when I saw that, man, I was real excited, man. I said, well, we got JB on board now, man. The boy's coming back home, man, to bring that knowledge, you know what I mean? And but like you say, Ken, his legacy, it speaks not only to those who have and those who don't have. Those who have, what did it say? Much given, much is required, right? Those who have, man, y'all need to start. Y'all need to do better. If you look at this man's legacy and you sitting up there and you sitting on all that money and you ain't out here trying to build the next generation, man, and expand your community. Stop giving stuff away. Start building. That's the difference, man. I see these pro athletes, they come in, and the giveaways, don't get me wrong. I love the giveaways. I love the interaction, the engagement with the community. But let's transform the community in a way where we don't need giveaways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We don't need that. Why are we getting excited because you're giving away Thanksgiving meals? No, turn the community around in a way that we don't need you to give us nothing. And then those who are up and coming, man, he's the best example of hard work, man, and dedication. He's not a guy that you talking about, when you talk about the game of basketball, he's not the first name to come up there.
No.
But listen, his impact is great, man. And I never heard him complain about playing time or anything. No, he was a team player. And like I say, it is a terrible loss, Ken. So sum it up, Ken. In the end,
Mike,
what do we think?
Mike, I'll say this to end it all is that, if we could live like Junior did at the age of 71, passed away, his legacy will stand for a long time. I just think that we need to emulate how he lived so we can be better off.
Well said, my brother. You heard it from Ken. If we do emulate just a quarter of what this man's life has been, the world will be better off, folks. This is why we play the game. The world of sports unites us. Let us take this unity into our everyday life. This is why they play the game.